Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or you're coming back, I hope you guys are doing great. You're all set up for a wonderful weekend. Welcome to December, to winter in Northern Hemisphere, to summer in Southern Hemisphere. Wherever you are, I'm glad to have you here, and let's get started with our reading. I do have my newest and most favorite at the moment deck, Angels and Ancestors. So let's get a card for each of the twins from this wonderful deck, and then we'll proceed with the classic twin flame read. Got a little bit of lights, a little bit of Christmas cheer here. Got my candle with passion fruit and blackberry. It's very special to me. It's actually the candle that I used for quite a few of the ancestor healing rituals that I was doing earlier in the fall. So it has a special meaning to me. It was a gift from my host family's cousin. Like, it's the family that, I call those people my grandparents. So essentially that's a connection with the ancestors for me. It's very symbolic, but it matters. Okay, Divine Feminines, you have Medicine Guardian. Be open to healing information. I was just talking about healing, but to build on the message. You know how crucial healing is in personal growth, in finding love and abundance, right? You're supposed to clear the blocks, clear the channel, in order to have capacity to perceive, to receive, to give love and goodness and that golden energy, right? So something is coming through for you to pay attention to, Divine Feminines. Some kind of information that will open your eyes to, it's like, if you imagine yourself a detective. I was just thinking about that yesterday, or maybe the day before. I feel like a detective a lot of times on this journey, right? Like finding different clues, analyzing, right? Going there, talking to that person, right? It feels like a detective work. And there is some important clue, important evidence that's coming into your space for you to use. It's not there to upset you. It's not there to punish you, right? But it will be something important that will help you heal and release some sort of old wounding or old block that is preventing you from getting your happiness. So you can talk to the Medicine Guardian, you can call on to him and ask to show you what that is if you're wondering, if you're not sure, or just be very attentive in your space, in your consciousness of what's coming in, what kind of stories are people around you telling you, books, movies, colleagues, bosses, right? Like whatever is happening, just be very mindful. If you're doing journaling, that's going to be really, really useful during this time. Because in the moment, you may miss the bigger meaning behind a certain interaction, but it may come to you later, like suddenly, like that. Ooh, yes, this is what this is about. Okay, in the meantime, the masculines have got the Moon card. Take note of intuitive messages. Sounds familiar? So downloads are coming both ways. I'm getting there is a good chance for at least some couples, some twin couples, that the same message is going to be coming through to both. Like in its essence, meaning that you are healing the same storyline, the same pattern. I don't know, maybe the pattern of not being worthy of love, right? This is one of the usual ones, right? One of the classics. So that will come in, like certain information about it will come in for both masculines and feminines, but in a different way, because the way that wounding happened to you in this lifetime is different, right? That's essentially the variety and the variety and the, I want to say abundance, but it has negative connotation in this case. Abundance of experience that we have, right? Like we're seeing the same pattern through different angles, through different stories, different kinds of ways of how it manifests. It's helping us become better light workers and healers ourselves so we can help other people, right? And for twins, because we have the same higher self, the same soul. I'm not saying that 100% of your wounding and patterns will be the same, but like a large number, right? Like a vast majority of those patterns. And that's why the mirroring effect happens, because you're wounded in a similar way. So when you're saying something or doing something out of a wounded place in that specific area, that's what your twin, that's when they're triggered, and that's what they give you back, because they have that wounding, right? So yeah, something's coming in for the twins on a similar note. Could be about being worthy or unworthy, or like how they build that perspective of being worthy or unworthy, right? And how that needs to change. But for them, it's more of like a guidance information. It's like more straightforward of like, oh, this is the way to think about it. This is a way to go. For feminines, it's more like, this is why you were hurt by that event, or this is why that person was in your life, right? Like, it's more of a historic information, probably gonna have some negative emotion around it, or you would have, right? Like, it's not gonna be a happy news, but it's gonna be something important that you can then transmute and release, so it's not bothering you anymore. That's the difference. Okay, moving on to tarot. Today I have the Spellcaster Tarot, one of my favorite decks. I haven't used it much in the recent months just because it was with me in Hawaii and I've used it abundantly over there, but it's definitely one of my favorite decks overall. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Pentacles. This is one of my favorite cards, actually, because of the squirrel, adorable squirrel, and because of how huge the pentacle is. It's like extra strong beginning in the physical coming in for the twins. You know, like, it's something solid, something you can't miss. It's not like, I don't know, we went volunteering at a soup kitchen once, right? Like, is that a beginning in the physical? Because you've never done that before, so is that it? Right? Or, I don't know, my twin asked me out to watch a movie, right? Is that a new beginning in the physical? Like, it's, you may still have doubts about it, right? But this pentacle you cannot miss. Okay. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's not something huge, right? Like, it's not an offer to like move in together, but it's something substantial and something where there is like long-term agenda in mind. So it's not like a one-off, let's do this and never talk about it again. It's like, you know what, like every Sunday I'm doing XYZ and I'd like to be part of it. Or like, let's start that tradition or something, you know, like something with a lasting effect in mind. Like, it's gonna be happening again and again, something long-term. Okay, feminines, you have Two of Wands clarified by King of Cups. So the decision is made towards something emotionally stable in your life, something that brings you emotional stability. It could be another person that you're like, okay, I'm choosing this person because they bring emotional stability into my life, or at least they keep me stable, right? They don't disturb my environment, right? But it might just as well be yourself, that you are leaning towards being in this King of Cups energy, where you understand what's happening, you kind of like have knowledge that like of the maybe emotional turmoil that others are going through, but it's not bothering you. Like, you are supposed to be in a space to surround yourself with people, or you're choosing to surround yourself with people and activities where you can find that comfort, you can find that harmony, that emotional grounding. It's very important at this time, especially, and I get the message that this comes from feeling that big changes are coming in, like positive changes, but it's very important to stay in that grounded, balanced, calm, peaceful energy in order to get there, right? Like, it's not the time to battle the worst. It's the time to like stay high vibe, continue working like with healing practices, with doing your light work, right? Like taking care of yourself, those kind of things. That's supposed to be your lifestyle. It's like continue to live through that lifestyle without necessarily having other people, places, situations disturb you. For masculines, we have the Tower clarified by Seven of Pentacles. So something in their plan doesn't go according to the plan. Sorry, it's not funny, but the bottom line is masculines are considering their plan now, or they understand that they have to make some changes in the original plan, whether it was about their work life or like married life, the way they wanted to establish a house, a home, a household, maybe even their idea of starting a family or having a family, right? Like maybe they thought they're gonna be together with their karmic partner and their kids because that's what they've been taught. You know, that's how they were raised, right? That this is sacred, that this is the way, right? And even if though there are problems, like they were thinking of like continuing to invest into that. And guess what the divine intervention is doing? It's like, nope, you are destined for far bigger and better. So that's not gonna stay, right? So it's starting to throw wrenches into plans, like specific plans, right? It's not like the person just disappears one day, but it becomes apparent to the masculine that they can't keep up with this plan anymore. They have to make changes. They have to face that bittersweet truth that this storyline is not, this timeline is not their best timeline, or it's not the timeline that they're supposed to keep up with. It was there for a while, was supposed to teach them something, it did its job, and now it's time to move on to something else. Additional question, Wheel of Fortune clarified by 8 of Cups. So what is naturally being taken away from your life, twins, for you to move on to a happier and more loving life? So this is naturally being taken away, meaning that you're not doing anything for it, but it's been taken away from you by the divine intervention. Queen of Swords clarified by the Empress. Someone who claims that they are, how do I put this? Someone who claims their control and authority over you. And this is a feminine energy. And so take it how it resonates. It can be an actual woman, it doesn't have to be, but it's somebody who is claiming that they have the power to make decisions in your life, right? That person is going away, or at least they're losing their power. It might easily be, I don't know, your mother, for example, but the mother that thinks that they know better for you, right? But you're choosing to walk away from this kind of authority that doesn't really support you, but is bossing you around and only makes you more miserable in your own reality. For the masculines, we have the Moon clarified by the Star. So the doubt is being taken away. It's very interesting. 2 major arcanas. The doubt about the bigger picture, the bigger meaning, the bigger calling, right? Like it's not supposed to be something mediocre, down to earth. Is kind of like, yeah, I can support myself and my loved ones, and that's good enough for me, right? Like just making it, barely making it, or like having just enough, right? Like that's not your story, not your choice, right? That illusion is being taken away around the life's purpose. How are the feminine seeing masculines right now? King of Wands clarified by 6 of Cups. Yeah, they're seeing them as a kind of strong and tough on the outside, vulnerable and not innocent, but like, you know, open-hearted and sensitive, there we go, inside, right? Like somebody who doesn't want to show their feelings and emotions necessarily, like keeping a strong front, but internally missing the good old days and wanting things to just be easy, and wants to enjoy their life without needing to solve this kind of tougher lessons of life, right? Or fix the mistakes that they've made in the past, especially with certain people. Wink, wink. Masculines, how are they seeing feminines? 5 of Cups clarified by Knight of Wands. This is one of those decks where actually the focus in 5 of Cups is on 2 of Cups. But there is certain the masculines are seeing that actually, like the general gist of these cards, as I'm sensing it, is that they thinking everything's fine between us, like everything was going well, and suddenly the feminine started being afraid, or like starting kind of like creating noise where things were just fine, right? Like started pointing out the bad stuff where I was focusing on the good, on the positive, on the happy, right? So that's what they see, that some kind of disturbance is being created artificially by the feminine. coming out of some of their fears in their own reality. Okay, I think I'm gonna finish it here. Thank you so much for being with me, guys. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. Bye, everyone.